Good evening, parents. I'd like to walk you through what to expect in the class today for Accelerated English 2. These are the courses that I also teach as well. I also teach Senior English. I am the Peer Counseling Advisor, which is a new program we started this year to help with mental health awareness on campus. And I'm also the Senior Project Coordinator. This is my last year of doing that, or the PACE Coordinator. So I have a lot of hats on this year. Anyway, a little bit about me. I graduated from Bonita High School here in 1997. The classroom I teach in is actually my junior AP English classes where I'm teaching from and actually recording this from right now. I went to the University of Laverne. I went to Mount Sac before that. I got a bachelor's degree in English and then a master's degree in education. And I've been teaching here since then, basically. So that was 2003. 17 years later, here we are. This is my 10th year being the PACE coordinator, so I've been doing that a long time as well. I am married to my wife, Kimberly. I probably should have put a picture on here, I guess, but it's too late now. I have a 5-year-old son. His name is Keaton. He has tons of energy, and we have an 18-month-old daughter. Her name's Kennedy, and she's just starting to talk and jaw and jibber-jabber and all that good stuff, so it's been fun being home with her a lot lately, so. What do we study in this class? Okay, so we have the novels that we're going to read, okay, which are listed here. Lord of the Flies by William Golding, okay, which they should have finished, and we had our little mix-up over the summer, which I, again, apologize for. We will be moving on after a little bit of work in between the two novels. We'll be moving on to Big Fish, which is a fun novel about storytelling. And then we'll move on to The Alchemist, which the kids, usually it's one of their favorite books. Most of the kids, it's on the top by the end of the school year. And then a book called Anthem by Ayn Rand, which is just an interesting book. It's actually a book that is written without the word I. So there's nobody that uses the word I in their society, which makes it very interesting. Night by Elie Wiesel, which is a Holocaust remembrance book. If you have not read it, it is amazing. It is very short, and it's very powerful. Then we'll go on to Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and Othello by William Shakespeare. We'll also work in a research paper in there and all that. The other kind of component or job that I have to do is to get students ready for their SATs, their ACTs, and to help them get ready for the upcoming AP classes. So we'll start, they already get lots of vocabulary because that covers our ACT and SAT, but we will also be covering things like timed writings and other things that the types of questions that AP asks. We'll start to get into those more towards the end of the year, second semester. I start to give a little bit more challenging stuff that looks a little more like AP, just so we are more ready for it next year, and I'm preparing students properly. So that's the main gist of what we cover for the year. In terms of homework, I assign homework basically every day. It often comes in the form of reading for this class, but there's usually something to do for this class. Sometimes it's a weekly assignment, sometimes it's a daily. It just kind of depends. Large assignments are inevitably, they're going to involve some homework. Everything is kind of homework these days, I guess, since we're doing school at home too, so it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. Late work. For accelerated classes, I really don't accept late work. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can go wrong right now with internet and all of these things. So I'm being more than willing to work with everybody. If it seems to be a constant problem, then we'll have a discussion about it. But as long as it's not a constant issue that we're always having, then I'll just use my judgment, and I generally just take people at their word. So that will most likely be the case when it comes to late work as well. Absences. In terms of absences, Canvas is where all the work is going. So the students should already know this, but for parents, the work is all going on Canvas. It isn't found anywhere else. It's not going to be on Google Classroom or some other thing as well. It's just on Canvas this year, at least for my classes. They will be given the same amount of time to do the work as the time they missed. So if you're out for 3 or 4 days, or students out for 3 or 4 days, I'm going to give them 3 or 4 days to get that stuff done. I get it. It's going to pile up too if we're sick or we're too sick to kind of come to school. It's going to be hard this year, I think, to do that and keep track of everything as well. So anyway, work that's assigned at least a week in advance is still due on the due date. Okay, and so these are things like, if I say, like, as of right now, the one assignment they have is their vocab that's due out a week ahead of time. So I tell them a week ahead of time it's due on that day. If for some reason you're not in class or whatever, it's still due that day. Okay? And so our deadlines are going to stick regardless of whether you are in class or not. In terms of grading, I do a total point system for this class. It's broken up. I didn't put them on here, but it's broken up into 4 categories. Those categories are more just so I make sure I'm covering everything and I've covered all my bases. And so that's a big reason for it. But it's a total point system otherwise. I don't round grades. I generally will give a kid the benefit of the doubt. If they've been really working hard and they're right on the bubble, I usually round up for them. But I don't do it as a policy in terms of I will do it at this percentage or anything like that. Grades can get checked anytime. They're updated on Aries approximately every 2 weeks. I'm working on doing the first one. Hopefully by the time you read this, they will be up today. But I haven't done my first crossover from Canvas to Aries, but hopefully that will go well and I'll get it done, and that'll be up tonight when you see this. Last couple things are just a few reminders and other things. So Bonita High School this year decided to institute something called dark hours, and it's really just done to give teachers the chance to have a little bit better of a work-life balance, because we were finding that when we go digital like this, then students all of a sudden think, oh, my teacher's there, it's midnight, it's 3 a.m, it doesn't matter, I'll just email them or get a hold of them somehow, and it was waking people, and it was doing a lot of damage ultimately in the end. So what they decided was that they are not going to require teachers to respond to the questions, emails, any of that stuff until if it's asked after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And on the weekends, obviously. They'll respond the next working day or the next time they are there to work. Teachers will then respond at that time. But we cannot have the expectation that we are always on call for students all the time. How I can be contacted, my email's the best. Number and extension here, you can really just call the school and ask for me, and they'll put you through to my extension. You don't really need to know it, I guess. But email is the quickest way to get a response for me. I'm faster at that than anything else. Extra help, while we're digital, best time is differentiated instruction time, which is that 1:20 to 2:15 time on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, just not Wednesdays. When we get back on campus, 7th period will be a good time. Also intervention, if that comes back. I don't think it's coming back this year as of now. So what you can do as a parent to help, just monitor your son, daughter. Make sure they're on it, try to keep on them as much as possible, so nothing gets lost. Confirm it with me if necessary, if there's anything that comes up. Help them out as best you can, and thanks for coming tonight. Thank you, and we'll see you guys all soon.